As you study the plays of William Shakespeare in your classroom, you're usually reading and interpreting the words from the text. In this program, we're going to examine how the director brings these words to life on the stage using actors, scenery, and costumes. And we're going to use Shakespeare's Othello to illustrate this. Othello is a beautiful, compelling play, a play that draws upon one of the most powerful and most destructive of human emotions, jealousy. The character, Othello, is a general serving the city-state of Venice. He's a state hero, admired by all for his strength, charm, and grace. At the peak of his power, he marries the beautiful Desdemona. But Othello's staff officer, Iago, deeply hurt when Othello passes him over for a promotion, plots against the general. He conceives a plan to convince Othello that Desdemona is having an affair with Michael Cassio, who is Othello's lieutenant. Eventually, Iago's lies inflame Othello to the point that he murders his beloved Desdemona in a jealous rage. At the end of the play, Othello learns of Desdemona's innocence and kills himself. And so the plot takes us from the beauty and innocence of true love to tragedy and death. We begin with the former.
Let's meet him and receive him.
Oh, my fair warrior.
Oh, my dear Othello.
It gives me wonder great is my content to see you here before me. Oh, my soul's joy. If after every tempest come such calms, may the winds blow till they have wakened death. If 'twere now to die, 'twere now to be most happy.
Oh, the heavens forbid, but that our loves and comfort should increase, even as our days do grow.
Amen to that, sweet powers. I cannot speak enough of this content. It stops me here. And this, the greatest discords be that e'er our hearts shall make.
Oh, you are well tuned now. But I'll set down the pegs that make this music as honest as I am.
Come, let us to the castle. News! Our wars are done, the Turks are drowned. Oh, my sweet, I prattle out of fashion and dote in mine own comforts. Good Iago, bring thou the master to the citadel. He is a good one, and his worthiness does challenge much respect. Come, Desdemona, once more well met in Cyprus.
But unknown to the happy couple, the seeds of destruction are already being planted. Iago addresses the audience, revealing the contents of his inner mind.
That Cassio loves her, I do well believe it. That she loves him, 'tis apt and of great credit. Now I love her too, not out of absolute lust, though peradventure I stand accountant for his greatest sin. But partly led to diet my revenge, for that I do suspect the lusty Moor hath leaped into my seat, and nothing can or shall content my soul till I am even with him wife for wife. Or failing that, yet that I put the Moor at least into a jealousy so strong that judgment cannot cure, and make the Moor thank me, love me, and reward me for making him egregiously an ass, and practicing upon his peace and quiet, even to madness. 'Tis here, but yet confused. Knavery's plain face is never seen till used.
Iago has set in motion a chain of events that lead to the murder of the innocent Desdemona.
Banish me, my lord, but kill me not.
Down, strumpet.
No, kill me tomorrow, let me live tonight.
Nay, and you strive.
But half an hour.
Once done, there is no pause.
But while I say one prayer.
It is too late.
And so Desdemona meets her tragic death. As you discuss this play, you may discover there are many different interpretations of it, but in the theater, the actors, the director, and designers must decide on a single interpretation of the play and follow that decision from beginning to end. We cannot stage the play as each actor or designer sees it. All of the elements, acting, sets, lighting, and costumes, must be developed consistently with the director's interpretation. It's the play as the director interprets it, and he follows through on that interpretation. Ralph Lane, director of the Illinois Shakespeare Festival production, discusses his concept or interpretation of Othello.
We chose to build the concept for our production of Othello around the single line of Othello that occurs in one of his last speeches when he says, "When speaking of him, speak of one who loved not wisely, but too well." We chose to take that as a human emotion, characteristic of all human beings, and to deal with love relationships throughout the show, not just Othello's love for Desdemona, but all the various kinds of love, the love of father for daughter, of husband and wife, Iago and Amelia, as well as Desdemona and Othello, and the love for suitor for wife. It was Paddy Chayefsky who said in his play Gideon, when he had the angel saying to Gideon that passion separates man from the beast. It raises man above the level of the beast and makes him beautiful and almost godlike. But love carried to passion extremes can lead man to behavior that is irrational. Our interpretation is that rationality and passion cannot deal and exist simultaneously. And so because of the love relations of the show, the inevitability of the action takes place, which makes it a tragedy, and we have the tragedy of Othello.
Building on the concept provided by the director, the performers bring their sensitivity and talent to create interesting and believable characters. We asked the central characters of Othello what they thought of the director's concept of the play.
Well, I think it's a very key concept for Desdemona in this play and in this production, because Othello is the center of her universe throughout the whole play. And this is very evident when they first arrive in Cyprus, and she's alone with Cassio, and she's agreed to help him in his suit to Othello. And Cassio has a line saying, "I am your true and loyal servant forever." She replies, "I know it, I thank you." And then she goes on to say, "You do love my lord." So it's evident that her thoughts, no matter what the situation are always on Othello and her love for him. And again later in the third act, after Othello's behavior is changed drastically during the play, she's alone with Amelia, and Amelia says, "I wish you had never seen him." Desdemona replies, "So would not I. My love does so approve him that even in his stubbornness, his checks, his frowns have grace and favor in them. So though no matter what Othello does, that she loves, her love for him is very strong throughout the whole play." And her next to last line in the play, after the suffocation has taken place, Amelia asks, "Who has done this deed to you?" And she says, "Nobody. I myself. Commend me to my kind lord." So even in her last thoughts are always on Othello.
I think the main thing to keep in mind when working on any play is that it's a collaborative art, and all the elements within the production have to be funneled into as specific a point of focus as possible, which is why you're dealing with the director's job of having a concept for the play. My job, as I look at it, is to try to find a way to take that conception and in my investigation of the role, in my reading of the text, in my study of the background elements of the play, trying to get into the characters, my job is to make an attempt to contribute to that conception, or at any rate, not to get in the way of it.
At first, I thought that the concept was extraordinarily general, and of course, every play and every situation is about love in some way or another, so what help could that be? But the more I went over the individual scenes that I played, particularly since Amelia has many scenes in the first 3 acts of the play in which she says very little, but she's on stage a lot, I found that that concept of the love became very important in non-verbally defining my relationship to Iago, to Brabantio, to Othello, and to Desdemona. So that I found specific gestures, specific ways of behaving to them. I found, for example, a gesture of cupping the other actor's face in my hands when I went to talk to them. That was one way of getting the physical attachment with him. And then finding that concept and taking that all the way through really got me to the end of the play, in which Emilia has probably her most devastating scene of all, in which she realizes that her husband, this man whom she's loved all these years, has really been at the center of this villainy.
If this is a play in which love is central, how does Iago fit here? He seems to be so evil.
Iago is not evil. Iago is human. He's a human being. And his behavior comes out of his love for himself and his love for Othello. Love and hate are the opposite sides. It's not evil. It's a human reaction to the human passion of love.
This passion had a very double blade to it, and it was very easy for him to respond very emotionally and say, I want revenge, I want to achieve the following. And as long as you take into account with the text that Iago's first goal is not to go out and kill Othello, it's just, I want revenge. One thing leads to another, and before you know it, you've got this giant net, as it were, that swallowed everybody up, including Iago.
We have seen how the actors respond to the director's concept of the production, but there are many other artists who must bring their talents to the unified production design. Often, the collaborating artists provide input which influences the director and contributes to the final production plan, all pointing, of course, to that magical moment when the effort of weeks culminates in opening night.
The impact that we would hope for this production of Othello to have upon its audiences is to help the audience recognize anew the human condition, the danger of love carried to its passion extreme when rationality can no longer exist simultaneously with it.
What did thy song bode, lady? Hark! Canst thou hear me? I will play the swan and die in music. Willow, willow, willow. Moor, she was chaste. She loved thee, cruel Moor. So come my soul to bliss as I speak true. So speaking as I think, I die. I die.
And so the transformation is complete. The play has come to life in time and space. The efforts of many artists have been joined to bring you Shakespeare on stage, where the wonder and the magic of the theater comes alive.